This is a DIY installing a spring kit in a Diana 56 TH. I've got my spring compressor made. Alright, first remove these two screws. Alright, I have the stock screws replaced. Inside the stock, against the gun on these brass slides, are two metal washers, then two rubber ones, and a front one has another metal washer. The back one does not have a metal washer because it is inside the gun. Store these in a safe place. I just put them back into the brass slide. And later, I'll be working on this one to put an O-ring in, and I'll take it out of the way then. Next, you'll need to remove these two circlips. Mark your shaft with a little bit of tape, or I put fingernail polish, so in case you turn it, you know where to put it back, because if it's sliding together and closing correctly, you don't want to change the adjustment. So remove these. This one, it needs to face the inside of the cocking lever so you can take it off easily. And it slides out easily. I'm going to do this one too. There's no tension because you didn't snap it. Take your punch, push it out. Alright, now you can slide this out. Now there will be two washers, so don't lose these. The back pin by the trigger has a washer. The cocking arm has two skinny ones on each side. They will fit inside those brackets to give it a bearing surface and take up any clearance. I put the pins back in and the circlips so I don't lose. Now I'm ready to push the spring. I made this gizmo to fit inside of this area of the safety area. It's going to fit right in there. It's going to fit nice and snug. Little screw to hold it. It's going to fit in there like this. The inside of it's going to nest inside of it. Now I'm going to clamp this down. To keep the gun from sliding back and forth. I've laid the pusher up against the safety housing, and so when I push it in, the wood will fit and nest right inside those cutouts. And now I'll crank her. It's coming right up against it. It just dropped right in. I've got it in this notch. It's there. It's there. There's 2 pins. I've got them pushed. And I'll lay these right here in the order I took them out. And now I'll back it out. Back it out. Trigger's moving out. That's when you know you're out, so when it drops to the ground. This is the T06 trigger, and it has a plastic housing that goes over it. When you put that back, make sure the housing's not twisted, or you're going to have some problems. I will move the pin, move that out of the way. I could slide this out. It's very, very dry. Alright, now I don't need these clamps on anymore. Now I can slide this back. Pull out the piston. And it does have some wobble in it. I don't know if you can hear that. It does have a slight wobble in it. I guess that's okay. It came from the factory that way. I want to remove this. So I want to take an Allen wrench and unscrew this set screw. It's got threads, then about a 1/4 inch of unthreaded area, kind of like a pin. Now here I have the Allen head backed out, and you can see what it looks like. Now this just slides right out. I could put that out of the way. Now, the compression chamber will slide out. Here we have the compression tube out, the piston and guide, spring, and the trigger laid out. I see the spring has a spacer in front of the guide. Here's my new piston seal. There's the old one. That doesn't look too bad. Here's the original spring on top and the new Vortex spring on the bottom. It looks like it's about an inch shorter. Here's the inside seal diameter. This is the socket outside diameter I used to put the seal on. The large bottom part of the socket is 4/1000ths bigger than the top of the piston seal flange. Here's the driving socket I used to hit the seal on. 99/1000ths. Here's the seal on the socket. Put that on there. Put the socket on the top of the piston flange. And then hammer it in. And when I get the seal over the bottom, I make sure I get it lined up. And one more hit with my hammer and it drops right in. I was looking at the compression tube. It's got some scratches, some wear where it's been rubbing a little bit. I'll polish that down. That'll look a lot better. The tube, it's kind of a dull finish. I'll polish that up a bit too. The face looks like it's got a little bit of rust on it. I've noticed the chamfer narrows down here and gets wired here. I noticed that when it goes in and out here, the leading edge of this rubs on that edge. The vortex spring and the factory spring are both have opposite twists. I don't know, I just assumed one was for Australia and one's for North America. And the vortex spring, if you could see, it came polished on this end and has a top hat where the factory did not have a top hat. I'm going to remove the breech seal out of the compression tube. Take a 1/4 inch. I just use a 6-inch long one so I can get a grip of it. 1/4 inch lag screw. Screw it in a bit. Wiggle it back and forth. There. There it is. Now I can replace it with the new one. Here's the new breech seal next to the factory breech seal that I just took out. In the front slide, adding the O-ring to keep the sled in action, and I took the circlip out. This is the O-ring I'm using, 44 thousandths. Inside diameter is 26 thousandths. The thickness is 10 thousandths. It's actually a seal for the TX200 breech seal. I moved the rod back just a hair, and now I'm going to slide it back. Now I can push this in.